JACLYN Hill has come out to address some drama, and this doesn't happen too often where she wants to address a controversy, but she decided to post on her own snark Reddit in response to what Marlenas came out to say about her, as well as Jen Gerard. And I'm going to just warn you guys now that this video is about to be a journey of receipts and statements, okay? Now, I recently did a video talking about how both Marlena and Jen came out with their stories of working alongside JACLYN years ago, and how they felt as though she had done them dirty in the end. Both of them had been friends with JACLYN and were willing to help her get connected to create her own brand, even though they were working with her on collabs for their own brands, Makeup Geek and Gerard Cosmetics. They both still wanted to see her thrive and connected her with people they knew to help her get a company of her own off the ground. In Marlena's case, she posted to the JACLYN Snark Reddit her experience and shared the betrayal she felt when JACLYN dropped the ball on their collab. They were supposed to do it together years ago. Her company took a major hit as a result of JACLYN pulling out of this collab, since they had already gotten pretty far into the process and ordered units and things like that. She said that she had nothing to lose now and didn't want to see anybody else in the same position as her, so she wanted to tell her story about working with JACLYN. Jen Gerard ended up following in Marlena's footsteps, sharing her own experience working with JACLYN, detailing that she felt betrayed by JACLYN as well, especially when JACLYN wanted to end their collab and demanded $250,000. Jen said that JACLYN had been paid very generously as they've worked together, and for her to be demanding this felt like extortion. She denied JACLYN's asking, and JACLYN went on to shade Gerard Cosmetics, making the company look bad in the press and to other influencers and creators, and Jen was very hurt by JACLYN doing this.
I have had hundreds, maybe thousands of people ask me in the last couple of weeks why I am not talking about Manny's collaboration with Gerard Cosmetics, his lip paint Serenity. And the reason why is because I have been in the process for the past couple of months of cutting off all ties and my affiliation with Gerard Cosmetics. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can guess like the reason behind this, and I don't want to go too in depth, and it's not something that I really wish to talk about too much because I don't want to shed any negativity on the situation. And if you currently go to the Gerard Cosmetics website, you will see that my face and my name is no longer on there whatsoever because I chose to take off anything having to do with me, because I just felt like this was really necessary for me. It's something that I really thought about and kept me awake at night, and I really had to pray about because this was a financial burden, but I just felt like my morals were way more important.
Both Marlena and Jen both ended up going on the Sesh podcast soon after they came out with their stories, where they both detailed more of their experiences working alongside JACLYN. But now JACLYN has seemingly replied to them on Reddit in a post titled "Marlena and Jen, JACLYN. Hey Jen, out of context, this sounds awful, so I'm sorry if the reasoning behind my email didn't make sense. I went through our conversations, sharing here for context, and the reasoning behind my request was I had noted that if you wanted to continue to use my name and likeness, I'd request an overall buyout versus monthly affiliates. As you know, I had made over $600K with you through my affiliates, creating lip products with you, so I was correlating the $250K payment with the inventory left over only if you wanted to continue to use my name and likeness. I had noted attached that if you went on to sell without my name and likeness, then we could separate amicably, which is what I also noted I preferred. In terms of how we ended, you did end up removing my name and likeness in connection with the products, so there was no need for payment. We did reach out once, as there were active banner ads using my name and likeness years later, but that was it in terms of our conversations. Marlena, our last exchange regarding the collaboration is attached. Up until end of August 2018, I understood us to be on good terms, as you had offered additional collaborations, expressed gratitude, and noted what seemed to be a positive response for the collaboration not continuing, attaching the email. I understood from speaking to you that you had got a plan in place for the palettes and shades, and it wouldn't be an issue moving forward. If you had told me then that it would be a brand closing situation, we would have made it work. But from our phone conversations and the email you wrote after, I truly thought it was fine. We did continue to work together in 2017 and into 2018. Your team even built a JACLYN Hill favorites page for your site, which continued to be utilized for MG sales. I know this from looking over emails and past confirmations I received in regards to affiliate payments. This should show you I thought everything was good between us because I continue to support your brand. I can see where that is naive of me to think everything was okay, but hopefully that provides context to you on why I did. I did consider you a friend and never have denied the relationship you introed me to and don't plan to. I will say though, I did not work with the lab you think I did in Los Angeles for my lipsticks that you warned me about. I noted that to you when you posted a video saying that you warned me about the lab, but after that text clearing up that I didn't use that lab, you blocked me. For reference, I actually worked with the lab you introed me to and recommended to me based in Florida. End of August 2018, I came to you as you gave a statement to a drama channel around our 2015-2016 collaboration. Up until then, I was under the impression we were on overall good terms. I'm attaching the quick exchange. I'm not attaching other points as it involves names of other creators and I don't want to air any of their information. At that point, you told me that your words had been twisted, but you did have hurt feelings around me due to our collaboration and me not reaching out as much. Granted, I think you understood why, given what I was going through personally, but I do admit I did do a terrible job at being an overall friend to you and many others in my life at that time. I removed a part of that convo, but can send to you directly given it involves other creators. At the end, I asked what I could do to make it right, and we both agreed we should have had these conversations years earlier at the time of us not continuing the collaboration, or months after when the plan you had in place didn't work out, versus 2 years later. I'm sharing a part of that conversation here. Again, happy to share all direct with you, but don't want to share publicly given it involves other creators. I shared with you I planned to do a video attached conversation, and you shared you were okay with that. We seemed on good terms again, but then a few days later, instead of coming to me to tell me that you felt I didn't share things correctly, you went to Twitter instead. From your text, you felt I wasn't being honest, and I asked you to elaborate. You didn't at that time, but either way, you have the right to voice your opinion on any platform you want. I just wish as a friend in all of this, you would have come to me first. I've never been someone to immediately go to the internet to speak on my friends without speaking to them about it, and have always voiced my concerns privately first, including with us. However, we didn't have one issue that was addressed privately first in our friendship. Instead, I would see your public opinion on the internet, then I'd text you and you'd clear things up with me privately, and then it happened again. We did set up a phone call, but we ended up not speaking because you canceled the call. Then 2 weeks later, I got an update that someone on your team, or previously on your team, had leaked our emails around the collaboration. The one email I shared earlier was not included in those leaked emails. I do think it's overall an important email for others to see to make their judgment on my lack of understanding we had issues from early 2016 to mid 2018. I can obviously see where I was communicating poorly and there was a lot of back and forth, but there also was a lot of text and phone exchanges as well that weren't shared. We both agreed there was context missing on our communication attached. After our text conversation, I understood we were on good terms again, and you sent me several nice texts over the holidays, attaching some. I admit, in terms of checking in, you were a much better friend than me during that time. I was not in a good place and not a good friend to anyone with everything going on. After that, I didn't hear from you again after the holidays. Instead, 6 months later, I saw you spoke out publicly, first trying to reach out to me privately first. Then when I did try to speak to you, you blocked me. In the end, I recognize where the anger you both have comes from. If I could, I would now change and handle things differently, but I can't. Marlena, I've apologized to you several times in depth via phone, email, and text for the way our collaboration went down. At this point, it seems our private conversations aren't working, and so this is me publicly apologizing, joining Reddit and writing in a public forum where I know I'm not liked, and the people in here will spend the time tearing every word of this apart. This is not me trying to have my fans jump in quickly for public support. I don't want anyone sending you hate. That won't make the situation better for anyone. I'm just trying to paint a clearer picture as to what went on from my perspective, as well as take accountability. I've made lots of mistakes in my life, and my intention was never ever to hurt either of you. I hope you truly know that. However, even though that wasn't my intention, that's what happened, and I apologize for that. I wish you both the best in terms of Jen continuing on with Gerard Cosmetics and Marlena with your new brand. So obviously throughout this entire post, Jacqueline is talking about attached screenshots and emails and everything. So we're gonna get into that. The first set she starts off with are between her and Gerard Cosmetics. She receives an email from Gerard Cosmetics that says, "Hi Jacqueline, this has been an overwhelming and emotionally draining situation for the both of us. I want nothing but the best for you, and I don't want to stand in front of any of your opportunities and happiness and want a peaceful resolution conclusion to be reached, but it has to make sense for me and my business. I've given the situation a lot of thought and wholeheartedly feel that I compensated you generously for your efforts. I would greatly appreciate knowing the basis on which you feel that you should be compensated by an additional $250K and how you came to that amount. I need to understand what I get for giving you that or any other sum. Jacquelyn replied, yes, you've always compensated me fairly. I have no problem with my commission in the past. I would prefer that you take down all my products and move forward with no buyout. I'm not trying to take money from you for no reason. You know me better than that. If you want to continue business as usual and continue to sell my products, it will not be easy for me. My subscribers will be confused and it will definitely make it harder for me. My name and likeness will always be attached to these shades forever. There is nothing I can do about that. If you type my name in on Google, Gerard Cosmetics pops up. And since I would prefer to totally detach my name and products, I think a buyout is very fair. I would like $50K for each shade and $100K for $19.95. We both know that $19.95 is a huge seller and people will never stop loving this shade. Again, if you're willing to remove all my products and my face from Gerard, I would much more prefer that. This is not about money to me, but if you're going to keep selling them and making money off them, I think I should be compensated, Jacquelyn. Now we're gonna get into the screenshots that she had posted between her and Marlena and her discussing that whole situation, but I do wanna read Jen's response to Jacquelyn posting all of this since we're on the topic of Jen. So this is what Jen had to say. Not sure if this is the place to post this, but here it is. Dear Jacquelyn, come on, Jacquelyn, it's me. I know your tactics and have been harmed by your greed. While I would be more than willing to accept a genuine apology, it is apparent that you are incapable of giving one. You are sorry if the reasoning behind your email didn't make sense. It made plenty of sense, girl, and this is not how you apologize after spending years trying to destroy someone. I will not stand for the gaslighting or the lies. We both know that you attempted to extort $250,000 after your face and name had already been removed from our website. The intention of your email is made clear by your actions at the time and since. We both know that you bashed me on Snapchat and every other chance you got, both in comments and behind the scenes. Did you think no one would tell me that you were trying to block my opportunities? Not everyone is under your spell, Jacquelyn. Some of us wake up, albeit some of us not until after you have rolled over us. You have a pattern of destroying other women in your path. You took extra pleasure in squashing me as punishment for not going along with your program. I am my own person and would not participate in the awful things you did to others. Your selfishness and greed have hurt myself, Gabby Ross, Marlena, Kaylin, Becca, and too many others. They have yet to come forward, but that is their story to tell and not mine. But you and I both know there are many more. Since an apology is only valid when followed by changed behavior, I will wait, but not hold my breath to see it. Oof. I don't know what Jacquelyn was thinking about when she posted this. I don't know if she thought that they were going to just suddenly forgive and forget and everything. Clearly they're so very hurt and they've watched her time and time again hurt other women's businesses. And it's why they wanted to come out in the first place, because they said that they didn't want to see this happen to more women in the future. And they wanted to warn others about potentially working with Jacquelyn. And I definitely think that's why Jacquelyn is coming out to make a statement about this, because she knows her reputation is on the line and it's not a very good one at the moment. I think a lot of people really want to just see Jacquelyn take accountability for a lot of stuff in the past, from the Kaylin situation, taking the cozy name, to these situations and many more. Just saying sorry instead of trying to defend on top of the sorries, because then it just doesn't make it seem like she's that sorry. I think a lot of people are looking at it as Jacquelyn could have done X, Y, and Z to make things right, and she just didn't. She just sat there and said sorry and then made excuses, or she said that things were misinterpreted or there was miscommunication. And that's exactly what's kind of going on in these screenshots that she has posted, especially with the ones with Marlena, where they seem to be going back and forth in text conversations about Marlena expressing that she was upset that the palette didn't work out with Jacquelyn and that, you know, she dropped the ball on wanting to do that collab with her. It cost her lots of money. Jacquelyn saying she didn't realize it was that serious, and them kind of going back and forth in text message about the things that each of them were saying online about this situation. And I don't really know why Jacquelyn chose to put these screenshots of their messages online, because it doesn't make her look any better. It just makes her seem like, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Jacquelyn includes screenshots of her text messages from Marlena, where Jacquelyn seems to hear for the first time that Marlena is upset about the collaboration not working out, and it only is because JACLYN is upset about a drama channel coming out and making a video talking about the failed collab. Starting with a message from JACLYN that said, "Why did you give blank permission to make a video about our failed collaboration? His video was filled with lies. He said he spoke to you about it." She said, "I haven't watched his video yet. He asked me what happened and I told him it was timing with Morphe collab and Becca and that it ended on good terms. Yeah, he definitely twisted your words and fabricated stuff. I'm shooting today, but we'll watch when I get back to hotel. I'm getting so many comments about what happened between me and Makeup Geek. People are convinced I did you dirty. People are talking bad about my mom because of it. I'm going to film a video tomorrow and talk about what actually happened. I always loved Makeup Geek and supported the hell out of it. I have no problem telling the truth and reading the emails, which is honestly nothing but positivity. But I'm not okay with taking a bullet that I don't deserve. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm so sorry to hear they're bashing your mom because she's a good person and doesn't deserve that. I've been reading many comments tonight. I have never shared or publicly posted about our collab other than years ago stating it ended well. If I'm being honest, JACLYN, on a personal level, I'm extremely hurt that over the years, I have never said anything ill of you and I've always supported how I could. I gave you much info to help you start your brand and even gave direct names and labs to get you started. When you became close to Blank, which is not a jealous thing whatsoever, that you tossed me and Makeup Geek aside. You gave that info to her to use for Morphe. You and her were both at Prisha together and my team and I were there. You didn't see me because I was in Blank's office. I texted you after seeing you in LA to ask if you wanted to meet, even for coffee. You blew me off yet showed up to the lab I connected you with, another brand owner. It's not right. Even recently, after your divorce, I was willing to fly to Florida to be a support during your rough time and you blew me off again. I know it's the personal side of things, but still, it is hurtful. I have more to say regarding your recent collabs and such, but it's not my place and I've stayed respectful of your business. I get questioned so much about you and it's hard to keep staying silent when I also am taking bullets left and right. I hope you understand my point of view as well. I know you have to speak your truth because you're getting lots of heat. Please tell your mom I'm so sorry she's being dragged through this when she didn't do anything wrong and is so sweet." And JACLYN's response to this is an interesting one. "I'm very sorry that you have ever felt hurt by me. That was never my intention. I have a lot of feelings about what happened to us on a personal level, but I want you to know that I did not stop using Makeup Geek because of Morphe or because of money. I never asked for a sponsorship or a penny outside of my commission that I earned. I helped Nick set up your affiliate program and gave him advice about it constantly. I told him influencers wouldn't want to work with it because it was too complex. I genuinely cared about your brand and wanted to help. I got hate constantly because it was basically the only brand I was using, but the products that started launching a couple years ago weren't getting me excited anymore, if I'm being totally honest. And you know, I only use the things I genuinely love. That put a bad taste in my mouth and I distanced myself from you. Then you started hanging out with Blink and he started spreading info about me and saying you were the source. That hurt me bad. I have never shared information." And JACLYN kind of cut that one off. Like, there's no more continuation of this particular message, which is interesting, but that is part of what she had to say in response to Marlena basically opening up to her saying that, you know, she's been hurt by JACLYN in the past. The next series of messages that JACLYN does share, I'm not going to read them because honestly, there's so many text messages and I put them on the screen earlier when I was reading her big statement so that everyone could kind of keep track of the attachments that she was talking about in particular. So if you want to go read them, they will be there. But they kind of talk about JACLYN not liking the price of the palette that they were going to be putting out. She didn't feel like it was right for her. She had come out with a video talking about why the collab didn't really happen in her relationship with Makeup Geek, and Marlena didn't like the video. She felt like she was slandering her and her company. And there was a lot that they were obviously getting out in these text messages with each other. They agreed to get on the phone. It never happened. And after that, things weren't really the same as one could imagine. But Marlena did reach out later on to say that, you know, she liked JACLYN's Halloween party. And I think JACLYN's sharing that information as like a look, like she doesn't hate me that, but I didn't do her that dirty because she's saying and giving me a compliment about my Halloween party and my house and everything. But obviously, someone being nice and saying that doesn't mean that you didn't hurt them in the past. And Marlena, just like Jen, did come out with a statement on Reddit in response to what JACLYN had said. And this is what she wrote. JACLYN, although I appreciate you responding, I'm tired of the gaslighting you've always done as you cherry pick parts of conversations to fit a narrative that suits you. We spoke after I found out you had taken Linda to all the manufacturers I connected you with, not just one. I've known since right after your lipsticks launched which lab you use because my vendors all told me, and I knew anyways when I saw the pictures you posted inside the facility. When our collab fell through, I wasn't trying to harbor hard feelings, even though I knew the financial wreckage that would follow. I took that hit in silence and made the best situation I could from it because I knew I should have made you sign that contract. But I trusted you as a friend, not just for business. Hard lesson that I'm glad I learned as it made me a wiser person today. So I'm grateful for that lesson. It wasn't the financial devastation that hurt the most anyways. It was the betrayal of you using me to get information and sharing that with a competitor, then kicking me to the curb. I told you this privately, Jacqueline, before I ever spoke up publicly, and your response was, "What do you want me to do, Marlena?" That's not a real apology. So much happened after those texts that opened my eyes long before we got to today. I was called by Becca's lawyers and found out you stole their packaging concept and used with Morphe. I found out from many of my vendors that you brought Linda to all of them. I found out you lied about pulling pallets, mislabeled as vegan, and suddenly restocking. I found out you lied about Jaclyn Cosmetics even being your brand. I could go on and on with the lies I found out later, but that would require a novel be written. My eyes are now open to the person I thought I knew versus the person you actually are. I felt like a fool believing what you said versus what you were actually doing behind closed doors. You've had the opportunity for years to contact me privately. My email has been the same. I have multiple social media accounts, and there's even a contact button on the Makeup Geek site you could have used, but it's been silent. Just like you stated, you contacted JACLYN as well, but you didn't. I'm tired of the gaslighting and the lies, Jacqueline. I wish you no ill will and have finally gotten the closure I need by speaking up. I'm tired of seeing other women hurt as well until your actions align with your words. They are just that, hollow words. So there's clearly a lot to process here. We're hearing from all three sides involved in the situation here. Shockingly, Jacqueline being one of them, since like I said earlier, she isn't really one to come out and address drama or things from her past all that much. But this is what Jacqueline had to say about what Marlena and Jen have recently come out and said about her. And clearly she's trying to say that some things she just didn't know about. She didn't even want to address the situation where she bashed Gerard Cosmetics. She only wanted to talk about the fact that, oh, the $250,000, I was only asking for it in the case that you were to sell products using my name and my face. Still, I would have wanted a buyout, and that would have been the buyout amount I would have wanted. But Jen was saying that no, she was asking for that money after her face and name had already been removed from the website. So it is a whole situation going on here where we're talking about Jacqueline in the past, and I think she clearly wants like everything that's ever happened in the past to be scrubbed, but she cannot escape the consequences of her own actions, it seems. And nobody is taking her apologies seriously. They just don't think that it's genuine. And I will say that if you're bringing like all these receipts and emails and text messages up in order to combat what they've said about you, then you probably aren't very sorry. It sounds more like I'm defending myself than I am very sorry. But that is what's been going on with Jacqueline. That's what she had to say on Reddit. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, it was a lot. It was a lot of receipts, a lot of statements. So if you hung in there and you listened to everything, let me know what you guys think about the situation in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.